The following contest is a singles match, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Syracuse, New York. Weighing in tonight at 280 pounds, he is the Natural, Nick Sullivan. And his opponents, from Binghamton, New York. Weighing in tonight at 235 pounds, this is the Hybrid, Sean Carr.
When we set out to put Clash at the Kallet together, we wanted to put a match on the card that could serve as the mission statement, and we arguably did that with every match on this card, but this one in particular is a perfect example of old school versus new school, of the established ring veteran taking on an up-and-comer who is set to take the wrestling world by storm. That rookie is the Natural Nick Sullivan. That veteran is the Hybrid Sean Carr.
It's also a game of a high-flying technical ability in Sean Carr versus the just pure power and strength of Nick Sullivan. Here's a man, I have witnessed him launch other guys from ring post to ring post and just not break a sweat or care. I'm sorry, I love Sean Carr, great friend of mine, but I don't see him surviving the power of Nick Sullivan.
Commissioner Super Beast, ever astute observation. Nick Sullivan comes with the force of 10,000 waterfalls. Let's not exaggerate one bit. He's powerful as the day is long. I've seen him lift people with a single arm. But I don't think that's going to happen with Sean Carr, even though he got tremendous height with that takedown, showing his amateur wrestling skills very early in this contest.
It was like a dog with a chew toy right there. He just picks him up and throws him down with the greatest of ease. You know, and you saw Carr locking up with him and kind of pushing him back a step or two. I think that was just Sullivan trying to get in his head saying, I'll let you do this, but then I'm going to do it one better. And those mind, oh, and we got a hug. Hug between Sean Carr and the ref.
Sean Carr wins over fans everywhere that he goes, and it is obvious when you look around here at the Oneida Kallet Civic Center that they're hoping that he can take down the Natural, put down this mountain of a man who's looking to just have his way with him. Let's be frank, he is a menace by any definition. Sean Carr playing a bit of games. While he has the advantage, I don't think Sullivan's going to take kindly to that.
I was going to say, it looked like Carr was trying to break him down piece by piece, but Sullivan just pushes him off and just slams into him. A little bit of mockery there.
Incredible agility coming out of Nick Sullivan. Carr right behind him every step of the way. The fans in agreement with the Hybrid, but Sullivan right to his feet. Right to his feet. Jockeying for position.
I know what this is. Oh, no!
Taking a seat on a chair made of burlap, collapsed right to the mat.
You know, I have had it happen to me more times than I can count. A lot of times when I was in the ring with Sean Carr, and that, my goodness, that hurts the Netherlands. The nether regions of a male. That poor man, he's feeling it all throughout his body. He is tingling right now.
Sean Carr soaking in a bit of the adulation, getting this audience behind him while he can, missing the clothesline. All it takes is a bit of momentum. Professional wrestling is all about that. I know you understand that concept, Commissioner Beast.
Absolutely. I said it earlier. It's not going to always be pretty. Sometimes you're not going to get it all. But he got just enough. He disoriented Sullivan, throwing around him, and he caught his arm, which enough force on your arm is going to make him go out of the ring.
All you need is a little bit of wobbly ankles as well. I don't know if you've ever stepped. Thunderous chop from Sullivan to Carr. I don't know if you've ever stepped on uneven concrete, but it doesn't take much for somebody to fall down. Let's not forget that.
No, it happened to me not too long ago, and that's happened to me before too. Carr, the veteran, as you stated earlier, outsmarting him, and he just chops that ring post, and those are
says
metal.
That the hardest part of the ring is the apron, but the post is made of straight up steel. Of course that's going to hurt when you slap it with a huge open palm. He's got catcher's mitts for hands, that Nick Sullivan.
He's running, getting up the momentum.
Carr going for a ride, trip around the world. Ends his vacation around the ring with a big boot to the face on Sullivan.
And the crowd going wild, wants it one more time. You gotta make sure you don't get counted out. I understand you gotta give the people what they want, but don't get counted out there.
Looking for a bit of crowd support on this second go round. It's referee's discretion.
That is a great point.
But this is, you're right, Beast. He has to be conscious of the count. But of course, you gotta play fast and loose with a contest like this. You don't want this to end in a count out. You don't want the fans to leave disappointed because these two men are just getting a little bit caught up in the glitz and glamour of a supportive audience. That's what's happened right there, and Sullivan capitalizes.
When I signed on to be the boss, the commissioner of New Pro Wrestling, I always stated, like you said, I want a good, clean, definitive finish. Let the referee have their discretion. Have a little bit of leeway, but at some point, the referee does have to get the back of the ring. There can't be too much leeway here. Oh, no.
Sullivan showing no regard for anybody around him right now. He is colder than the insides of a waffle cone. He could have got himself disqualified right there. That could have been and everybody would have been justified. Everybody would have been justified in agreeing with the idea that he got disqualified because the official got into harm's way. Huge elbow to the sternum on Carr.
No, like we said before, I said it earlier, it might not look pretty, he might not get all of it, but in that situation, Sean Carr did not catch all the posts, but it worked his shoulder and his face. His shoulder caught the post, and then he went face first into the guardrail. A 2-for-1 special, not intentional, but it still is effective.
And now, the natural Nick Sullivan working over Sean Carr, sending him chest first into the turnbuckle, starting to kind of focus in on the midsection of the hybrid. That's smart wrestling right there. You don't get to Puerto Rico in the Netherlands as a freestyle and Greco-Roman amateur wrestler like Nick Sullivan has without having that sound fundamental background.
And he's just rubbing it in, just mocking a paintbrush in the back of his head. Don't do that to Sean Carr. As a man who's wrestled Sean Carr at least a dozen times in my life, that's the type of stuff that fires him up. And I've almost lost to Sean Carr on multiple occasions. I almost lost my Pier 6 Wrestling Heavyweight Championship to Sean Carr because I did the same thing.
Right.
Do not make that mistake, young Sullivan, if you want to win.
Do not underestimate the veteran. He's got plenty of gas in the tank. He's familiar with these situations. Sean Carr starting to fire back up, deliver some big blows, but a knee right to the guts of Sean Carr, sending him head over heels.
I'm looking at Sullivan's feet there. Those are just massive. Massive feet there. Like, it looks deceiving when he's in the ring. But when you're
a crushing blow!
Oh my goodness, my back and my stomach hurt watching that. All the wind was taken out of my sails. But 2 7/8 there. Carr kicking out on pure instinct alone.
That thud was felt in the lobby, possibly out on the street of Oneida, New York, right on Main Street. A huge echoing splash. Nobody home for that, but the damage could potentially be done. Nick Sullivan throwing his weight around, his weight and his wrestling prowess combined to take the breath away from Sean Carr.
But that elbow and that boot from Carr, that's all you need. You hit a man in the jaw, you hit him in the side of the head, knocks him loopy.
And there it is. It's as if from Beast's lips to Sean Carr's ear. But that's the veteran advantage. He knew that he has, once you recognize the strengths of your opponent, it makes it all the easier to focus in on those weaknesses. You got to go for the center of gravity. You got to go for the head. If you control the head, you control the match.
As a fellow big man myself, I can tell you from experience, anytime I got kicked in the head or I was hit in the leg, I was knocked a little loopy and uneven there. And that's when all my opponents would try to take a piece of me, and it's worked a lot of times. And I fear that poor Sullivan may be taken to the woodshed, but that power still's there.
Up and over to the apron, a big kick to the head of Sullivan. Now Sean Carr starting to fight back, starting to get that second wind. Huge leg to the face. My God, Sullivan is reeling from that direct hit. Call Sean Carr honey butter because he's on a roll, my friends. Will victory be sweet for the hybrid? Oh, this is ill-advised. Anybody with eyeballs that function could see that trying to lift Sullivan is a fool's errand, and that's what you get for the effort. You get dumped on your head. Suplex, village, town, hamlet, whatever you want to call it.
Air traffic control, an unidentified flying object. That's Sullivan just throwing him from post to post.
Going for the cover, lateral press.
Oh,
not enough.
Goodness.
Not enough to put down the hybrid.
Oh my, only two? Two?
The referee is calling a two.
Okay.
Making sure that everybody sees it crystal clear. That was a 2 count. I'm not sure it would have mattered, honestly. I think that Sullivan would continue the onslaught. A menace if there ever was one.
What?
Able to get him up.
He rolled on him. He
rolled
got him
through.
Up enough.
Sean Carr hits the moonsault, but unable to get in. He should follow up with the cover, but he doesn't seem like he had it. It seems like that midsection was troubling him, causing him delay. That's what happens when you have a body part that has been repeatedly targeted by your opponent. It wears on you. It leaves you unable to do things that you would be able to do under normal circumstances. The natural Nick Sullivan taking his time, reeling from the offense of Sean Carr. Unable to get the super kick. The natural capitalizes. A belly to belly crushes the wind. Just long enough for a 3 count from Nick Sullivan, the natural. This contest was anybody's game from the start, even though both these men have their bag of tricks that could give them the winner's edge. It was an evenly fought contest until the natural. Oh, this, come on. Pushing the official. You've already won, Nick. The match is already won. Potentially showing some sportsmanship. Something you learn in the amateur. Oh, come on! Come on! Delivering another crushing blow. This is completely unnecessary. Officials making their way out. We need to get some order. We need to call Mariska Hargitay for some law and order around here. The officials need to get this under control. Commissioner Beast, I know that you're retired.
Get out of here!
Retired from the business. No one expects you to get physical and get in the way of the natural Nick Sullivan.
Get out of here!
He is a physical specimen.
I'm the man around here. I will serve all your heroes.
Get out of here!
Shut up. Piss off.
Trying to intimidate everybody in his path.
I don't care.
Doesn't care
Doctor, pay tonight.
about anybody but himself.
Knock that man his pay!
Unwilling to listen to the Commissioner Beast, potentially receiving a fine, a dock and pay. Totally understandable,
Ladies and
Commissioner.
gentlemen, one more time for the hybrid, Sean Carr.